Take a deep breath and let it out. Take another deep breath and sigh. We have so much to sigh about, whether it's a contentious election or a virus that we're told is surging, or the isolation and disruption of normal ways, or any number of things that we are facing. So much stuff. And today I want to suggest a way to overcome all of it. I'm Steve Richards, one of the pastors at Messiah Church. Thank you for joining me for a few minutes as I offer a way to overcome all the stuff that's swirling in and around our lives. I remember this old Dennis the Menace cartoon where late at night Dennis stands at the side of his parents' bed with a blanket in his hand and he says, "I wouldn't be so scared of the dark if I could just keep my mind off my thoughts." And there are nights like that. We finally decide we've had enough for the day. We shut everything off and climb into bed, and either we are uncomfortable with the silence or everything that's happening in our lives comes pouring out at once, and it's too much. Until finally, mercifully, the night is over, and when the morning arrives, we turn on the television or we get on the computer, and all of the noise of what's wrong washes over us. And I put my hands to my ears. La 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 la. Be quiet. I don't want to know. I don't want to hear the noise anymore. And that's why I find Psalm 46 to be so reassuring. Psalm 46. The writer points us to that place where God is found and God can do God's greatest work in us. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. I mean, that's the kind of chaos we fear, that everything around us would fall apart. And that's what the world was like. It was without form and void before God brought forth order. God is our refuge and strength. And then the writer of the psalm goes on to list ways that God has been our strength and refuge. He writes, "Come and see what the Lord has done." And then finally in verse 10, God speaks. "Be still and know that I am God." See, God waits in the stillness. God waits to meet with us. God can't heal and can't comfort and can't direct us until we are still enough to let go. Like that breath you took a moment ago, and let it go. Be still and know that I am God. Now, it's not an invitation to ignore what's going on in our lives. It's not an invitation to somehow withdraw from the world, as if we could really do that anyway. Just stand still and recognize that God is. I came across this article that's titled, "How 20 Seconds of Silence Can Change Your Life." And the author said it's rare for us to be still, completely still, still enough that God could break through. So he said we need practice. And he suggested starting with 20 seconds. When you wake up in the morning, before checking your email or even getting out of bed, be still for 20 seconds. When you pour that first cup of coffee, be still for 20 seconds before you drink it. When you get in the car, turn off the radio and be still for 20 seconds before driving. At the end of a conversation, instead of rushing into something else, take 20 seconds to be still. It's learning how to be still. It's practicing, because it's in the stillness that we find the presence of God. Twice this week, I was in waiting rooms. And what do you do in a waiting room? But wait. And for how long? It's never clear. That's why it's called the waiting room. And yet, in my life, that's where I find the space to let go and let the presence of God fill that space. 20 seconds. Just 20 seconds. You could take those 20 seconds right now. Be still and know God is. God bless you all.